I'd like to wish you and welcome you all, ladies and gentlemen, to the Asia Pacific Wine and Spirit Wine Buzz. It's with immense pleasure that today my hostess, Stephanie Hogan, who I would like to share, is a lady who has a vast amount of experience over 4 continents, traversing the world of elegance, wining, dining. She was the chair lady for the Hong Kong Wine and Dine. She has hosted royalty in the form of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Wessex, Sophie, and also celebrities, from assisting the opening of restaurants for Oprah Winfrey. She's a lady who speaks her mind, and it is for that very reason that we are going to expect some very incisive questions. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me enormous pride to introduce our host, not only our host, but also our guest tonight. And that guest comes in the form of Dr. Iwan Diestchi. So for those of you who might have difficulty in pronouncing that, just think of the number 10 in Italian, Dietschi, all right? And say that with verve. If I was to describe the good Dr. Iwan in terms of numbers, well, 25 years in the hospitality industry, 13 countries he's been to and worked in, 3 continents, and openings of at least 20 hotels. Dr. Iwan personifies and embodies elegance, calmness, but yet with practicality. He's a man that appreciates that southpaw, as he is also a boxer of note, but he's also a writer. So without holding back, let's ring the bell. And Stephanie, you've got the first question.
Well, I'm jumping into the boxing room right now. He's got a lot more experience than I do when it comes to boxing, I can tell you. But Iwan, what I wanted to ask you is, what do you consider, what was the single catalyst that actually drove you to become a hotelier?
Dr. Clinton Lee, thank you very much. Stephanie, wonderful to have the opportunity to be part of this great chat and to be part of your incredible program. I love to be with people and making others happy. A hotel environment allows me to be with people from various backgrounds, learn and grow through them. Important for me was as well to discover the world and its people. A hotel environment allows you to have the world come to you as well, be around incredible diversity, experience various cultures, create unmatched memories, and become a more sophisticated professional and enriched person as a result, Stephanie.
Well, Iwan, one of your philosophies upon reviewing your book was that you wanted to create an unmatched experience for guests to last a lifetime. So how did this philosophy come about?
Well, Stephanie, seeing people happy is a wonderful feeling. I learned early on that I can make a difference for people simply by smiling and reaching out to them. And the wonderful outcome of seeing others reacting positively was an important driver for me to learn more about people in general and my own contribution to make the world better. In hospitality and in any industry, people are the most important. Through my leadership and passion, I can inspire others, create exceptional experiences every time, and every single interaction, and through every single employee consistently. People might remember things, but feel connected with those who touched their hearts. This will last a lifetime.
I love that. I also love that you're...
Yes, Stephanie, I think I really have to ask the good Dr. Iwan here, because it's just a burning question inside of me. You know, you have shared with us this catalyst, this need to give people that unparalleled and matchless experience. Now, you have actually traveled, worked significantly over 4 continents: Dubai, Egypt, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and they're all culturally different. So how would you define an unmatched experience in each of those differing cultures?
Well, as an hotelier or a tourist, whenever we are in different countries or a different place, we're always guests in a particular environment. For people, professionals like us hoteliers, it is critical to not wait for a hand to be extended, but always to make the first step, trying to be part of them, their culture, and always remain positive about being in a new environment. As soon as people feel that you are here for the right reasons, they will open up. Curiosity definitely plays a crucial role, and believe me, everywhere I have been, the locals open up and show pride and enthusiasm to teach, engage, and try to make others feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. Well, touching hearts, from my standpoint, is the easiest thing in life. It takes a smile, proactive approach to embrace everything new, to be thankful to learn from people and their culture, be humble enough to appreciate the difference, and then always act and engage in a respectful way. Everyone has the heart in the same place wherever you go. As professionals, we know how to make others feel special about themselves. For us, it's very important that we can empathize and engage, learn by observing, speaking, communicating, asking the right questions in the right way at the right time to know more and learn, and then act upon to create unmatched memories.
That is very inspiring, Dr. Iwan. That's really inspiring. And I'd like to extend that question and broaden it a dash more, if I may. Many of the Asia Pacific Wine and Spirit Institute students, they are in the hospitality industry. Given your many years, campaigns, and being a veteran of many battles, what tips, 2 tips, I'm sure you could give many more, and there's an enormous amount in that fabulous book that you have written, which you have a copy of the sleeve behind you, and we'll have a quick look at that later. But what 2 tips would you give to help them advance their career during these challenging times and for the future?
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate everyone who has chosen to be a hospitality professional, because it's the most beautiful profession in the world. I would like to emphasize the fact that everything starts with you and ends with you. As described in my book, Mastering Hospitality, in the 8 principles for excellence in the people business, I outline a clear structure of what and how to achieve sustainable success is. I would ask everyone to focus on their talents and strengths and to develop an own brand, as stated in principle number 1. Furthermore, I would encourage everyone to think about a clear vision and mission in how to reach the goals set out in principle 2. I always ask everyone to dream big and to work on goals, how to reach them. Every day is an opportunity to come closer to that vision. Learn with open ears, ask questions, remain curious, and walk your talk. It is important as well to find an employer who can not only support the vision, but also can help mentor and guide you, the young aspiring professionals, to greater heights. I always talk about becoming the best that you can be at your current role. To create excellence and sustainable professional success, I encourage everyone to do more than is expected, to refine competencies and naturally demonstrate natural leadership by supporting team members and lifting the spirit of everyone around.
Very impressive. Stephanie, I know you just
he's definitely
wanting
a
to
people
get in there.
person. And I'm a big fan of that too. And that kind of leads me actually into the next question that I wanted to ask you regarding, with China, it's really considered to be a world leader in AI. And I'm just curious, are you actually in your hotels, are you incorporating this technology into the hospitality business?
Well, I think technology is fascinating and obviously particularly see, observe, and somewhat as well be part of the changes. The advancements are happening right now and in different hotels and as well in different companies. Yes, many hotel companies have to adapt and in certain ways are as well become more proactive when it comes to AI. I take Alibaba's Fly Zoo Hotel in Hangzhou as an example, where you enter a room through face recognition and where you only need your mobile phone to get the services you require. Robots are all present in that hotel, and believe me, they will remember you. It clearly shows that many younger guests are fascinated by the technological changes as well in hospitality. AI is used in other areas as well, particularly in terms of human resources and recruitment. Well, the question is if it is really that effective. Technology definitely assists in many ways, and I can make an experience less complicated or perhaps more hassle-free. Technology will shape our industry for sure, and that has already started. On the other hand, I strongly believe that particularly in the luxury environment, guests want to be surrounded by professionals who not only can deliver a basic service, but also can create memories through professional engagement, competency, and that flair through authentic communication, which customer will never forget. No robot can replace a maître d' who can talk about the wine with passion, love, and through experience.
Well said.
Bravo, bravo.
Well said. Asia is now unparalleled when it comes to the consumption of fine red wines. Traditionally, this has been dominated by the French and the Italian wines. How are your hotels supporting the emergence of fine Chinese wines in their sphere of influence? And even possibly, as you're quite close to Thailand, Thai wines.
Yes, Stephanie, very, very interesting and good question. I had the opportunity to be and live in Asia for almost 20 years now, not only in China, but as well in Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Japan. Asian travelers and particularly Chinese now represent a very important part of any country. And with that travel knowledge comes the fine tuning of their own wine expectation. Chinese people have become much more sophisticated, have tried the best of the best, but as well focus on bringing their own wines to market and compete slowly around the world with their own products. The terroir in China is very diverse and creates incredible opportunities to bring great wines to life. Many bigger wineries in China already work with top winemakers from France, Italy, and Australia to perfect this very special craft. You will hear more about great wines or Chinese wines, Asian wines in the future. I have absolutely no doubt. I strongly believe that several Chinese wineries will have a breakthrough and can further commercialize their wines and compete with established wineries from around the world. We, as hospitality professionals, have as well a duty to support own grown wines and help commercialize these products in the outlets. I'm very proud to say that I worked with several local wineries in the past, and that some of their wines are fantastic. Close collaborations with the wineries or then agents can support the visibility of their wines. Having been in Asia for a while, I said, I can tell that there has been great progress. There are different wines and wineries and so forth, great Cabernet Merlot blends and so forth, which are fantastic wines, Chardonnays and so forth. And I can mention many more. In terms of Thailand, they can already be very proud of their fantastic wines. Mm-hmm. Although winemaking is not part of their heritage, they started in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, with vineyards in mostly mountainous areas. In Pichit province, around Khao Yai, which is about 160 kilometers northeast of Bangkok, in Hua Hin, a beautiful place, for example.
Been there.
Wonderful.
I enjoyed
The
that
story of improved wine quality is probably similar to that of China, where Thai wineries brought in specialists from around the world to improve their wines, bring the love of wines to the local population, and as well allowed many farmers to improve their income through planting vines. I believe that Thailand now produces about 1 million bottles a year and growing. Main grape varieties are Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, and a very special Viognier grape from southern France, from the Asoki Valley. So these wines are fantastic, and I have no doubt they will be talked about more and more.
Something that I just distinctly remember living in Hong Kong and traveling to Singapore, doing business in that part of the world. It's so hot, right? So again, I tended to drink more white wine, getting back to your Viognier, grape varietal, that sort of changed my preferences of wine consumption, because of living in Asia, and because, again, you're in a very tropical location. I would say that from what I see now that we've moved to, or I've moved to this country for now, people here are drinking more red wine. So what would your give or take percentage mix be of red to white?
My personal consumption preference?
Well, no, I'd say in your hotels. Absolutely, your hotels.
Still heavy when we talk about wines, particular red wines, heavy on red wines still. But there is more and more preference for champagnes or more perhaps for as well female customers will be the lighter version, light fruity white wines too, so Sauvignon Blancs or whatever. And I think with the hot temperatures, particularly now in Shenzhen, as you say, we open our outside areas as well, and I strongly believe that we will see more white wine consumption over the next few months.
Excellent. Based on your observations in the industry, what do you see as the next big thing in wine in Asia? And how are you leveraging this in your properties?
Stephanie, there seems to be a certain reshuffling of the main wine players in Asia and in China. Definitely Australia has become a solid force, even overtaking France in terms of overall market share in China this year.
Wow.
Furthermore, there are other countries who have knocked at the door of many Asian countries, and particularly in China, like Argentina, South Africa, Israel, and even Georgia. It is wonderful to see that the wine market has opened up with many different countries, as well due to special free trade agreements. On the other hand, it is important to look inwards and see the emergence of more local wines coming to market, particularly in China, as many wineries gain expertise over the past years, as I mentioned before. I think it is a fascinating time to not only open up great wines to enter Asia, but also to observe and experience the growth of many domestic wines for consumption, hopefully as well for export in the near future. The market will offer greater choices and create new customers based on tastes and preferences. Wine and spirits companies need to make technology and social media their own, not only to attract younger customers, but also to solidify their market presence and expose their products professionally. Digital presence and sophistication will become more important as behavior patterns change and evolve with the millennials and Gen Z.
Well, staying with that, but moving a little bit to another segment would be.
Steph, could I just come in here with that question? Because
sure.
I'd just like to add what you know, Dr. Iwan has mentioned. You know, Australia, yes, certainly they were predominant, but now with the 212% tax rate that they are subjected to, that's created a huge opportunity. And our South American friends from Chile, I believe, are hurrying along at fever pace to take up the space that has been left. Additionally, what you said about the new generation, the social media, China in the last sort of 20 years, we've seen the terms of what they call the turtle generation and the seaweed generation. The turtles were the first uptakers to go overseas, get an overseas education. They came back. There were bountiful opportunities for work and opportunities both in the hospitality and other industries. And they were able to really captivate and influence. The second generation, what we call the seaweed, they came across. They also were able to successfully obtain degrees and certification. But when they went back, jobs were not so plentiful. So they sort of migrate between where they studied and back to the country of China itself. But these bring with them a different dynamic, a different sort of catalyst of what's required. But yeah, absolutely bang on. Steph, I just had to mention that.
Good stuff. We got to pack it in, particularly around wine. But and again, Iwan, you did an excellent job giving us more color on what's going on over there, and we appreciate that. So I'm going to move you a little bit sideways to another area, which is what do you see in regards to differences, speaking of millennials' age, the generational liquor choices in your hotels?
Thank you, Stephanie. As per my observation and as well professional surveys, although people above 55-year-olds still play the biggest part in the wine and spirits consumption, the younger generation, millennials, have actually become the main power who spend money for liquors and as well more cocktails.
Wow.
The younger generation has discovered the love and perhaps the lifestyle that cocktail bars in general offer. There are many trendy establishments popping up in many cities and hotel bars needed and actually still need to catch up and reinvent their own business model to compete. Although the more strong liquors are part of the many cultures in Asia, they are still consumed on a regular basis in family and particularly in business settings. The trend for younger consumers is shifting to beverages, cocktails with less alcohol. Many bars and establishments are sensitive to the changes of habits and have adapted or still adapt to new consumers and those expectations. There is a demand for particular cocktails, flavors, colors, and shapes, talking about glassware as well, especially for female guests who are more sensitive to the look and feel and taste, to have a more balanced approach. An interesting study was conducted, actually particularly addressing Chinese younger consumer habits. Many chose to reduce the frequency of drinking and the amount of beverages consumed each time, as there is a bigger concern about individuals' health, which has become more important than before. I strongly believe that the creativity of beverage professionals is required, expected, and appreciated more than ever, as well as the overall atmosphere that is created by any venue. Talking about enlivening all the senses. The connection that a brand can build with its consumers through social media, again, and other means has become increasingly important and a critical focus as well.
Definitely, there's a lot going on.
Absolutely, yes. Very interesting times.
Well, I, also would like to highlight as you are our new APWASI Global Hospitality Ambassador, I have to bring up why or what did you consider of prime importance before you accepted this role?
Thank you, Stephanie. I'd like to thank you, Dr. Lee, and your phenomenal team, Stephanie and everyone, for giving me the opportunity to represent APWASI and to bring the culture of beverages closer to the professionals in our industry and the consumers around the world. I considered the professionalism of your organization, the top leadership, the passion for that craft, and the courses offered and the worldwide reach as a prime factor, having accepted this great honor. Food, wine, liquors, and beverages in general are a critical part of hospitality, and is not only a joy and great learning, but as well expected from professionals to be able to talk about wines and liquors to guests with great passion. A lunch or dinner or any gathering, family, friends, and business, should always be accompanied by a great beverage or wine, and through the professionals in the trade, bring joy to guests' palates through the right choice of beverage and wine, and to help with creating unmatched memories. I learned about the world as well through the world of wine, and as people professionals, as hoteliers, we're part of that culture. I would like to encourage more hospitality professionals to start wine and spirits knowledge as early as possible. And I was able to experience particularly wine knowledge and wine culture helped me to bring the world closer to my heart and mind. I was and still am learning, connecting dots and experiencing different countries through their wine history, particularities, and tastes. Again, my primary role is to bring wines and spirits closer to all hospitality professionals, and by doing so, for hoteliers to experience the world through the lens of winemakers, terroirs, history, culture, and incredible variety of tastes as part of our world. Hospitality professionals tell stories to engage with guests, to create memories that last a lifetime, and to a certain point, to educate consumers through our own lens. Wine and spirits are part of the fantastic and never-ending story.
Stephanie, I'll let you talk first.
Well, no, I mean, I think that sort of full-on question period for me. I've got a few more, but I guess you know what I did kind of want to ask you about, as I saw in the news here, there was a blink that, of course, COVID has affected all of us, and in particularly the hospitality industry severely. And maybe I don't even have the right words for it, but with Singapore, I believe, you know, it was pretty early that it opened up. Everything was booming as far as recovery. And now I've heard that, you know, cases are back. So how are you managing through that situation?
Yeah, great points, and very sad to hear that this thing is popping up again in certain places after really having had the hope to open up the travel bubbles and so forth. I hope it will not last that long. Well, the industry, like many others, came to an abrupt halt during the first weeks of the outbreak, but China, I believe, handled the situation in a very professional, coordinated way to ensure that a normal life for many can resume as fast as possible. I was actually in China during all this time. I've not left China for 16 months, and I witnessed the different steps, supported the employees, our owners, and stayed very close with our guests as well. Our hotels actually started again very early to offer takeout from our different restaurants because there was a huge demand. And there you really could feel that certain people never really learned how to cook, but that's good for us. And slowly open up to guests and in the rooms as well, based on obviously government directions and support. Occupancy started to climb again in about May, June. And as we have seen and witnessed, many hotels were again very busy during the summer holidays. It was a great opportunity for Chinese guests to really discover their own country again. And as it happened, probably in many other countries around the world as well. Business travel resumed then as well, and hotels in many parts of China were able to achieve high occupancies again. As mentioned, we all always have to have the guest mindset and to think like a guest. I strongly believe that our industry in China learned a lot from the local travelers during particularly this time, adapted the offerings, created different products, improved food and beverage to suit certain tastes better, and brought the country closer together. Many hotels have profits that preceded COVID times. And any further border openings, as I mentioned in the beginning, hopefully soon will allow many operators to further enhance their business prospects.
Yes, we need all the encouragement and as we said, business to catch up or to stay in the game. That's for sure. And I always say that we do look to the East to learn and evolve. But you guys are definitely ahead of us.
Yeah, you know, and in the words of Rudyard Kipling, you know, East is East and West is West, but I'd like to add a variation. He said, East is East and West is West, and never the twain shall meet. However, I differ. I believe that with professionals that imbue a personal philosophy that spreads it so openly, honestly, truthfully, and genuinely, like Dr. Iwan here, they shall meet. And I would like to ask you, Dr. Iwan, where can students, the audience, ladies and gentlemen, purchase your book and tell us a little bit more about it? Please.
Thank you very much. Well, it's a great honor that I can speak about the book, and I appreciate the opportunity.
And you know, I would dedicate an entire series to it, but I don't want to let out all this fabulous secrets and the teachings and the philosophy that you bring forward. I want them to feel that love by reading your book. So tell us about it and what inspired you and how they can buy it.
Well, thank you very much. Well, my book, Mastering Hospitality, is a passionate take on my career and experiences, hospitality and leadership in particular, throughout the world and my executive MBA and doctoral studies. I always had a desire to continue my education and felt the need to improve my overall competencies, particularly when it comes to business acumen and leadership. My book actually is in two parts. Firstly, a little bit about my own story of success, about the hotel industry in particular, its history, key elements that are important to become a perfect host. Then the second part about my 8 principles of excellence in the people business. To become the top of your trade, this is for any industry and any job, I focused on principles that can help anyone grow properly, to become the best that you can be, and to remain on top through continued focus on self-development, leadership attributes, and further and continued education, to mention a few. I ask myself the key question, what makes a great leader? And the secret sauce is also a single phrase that sounds good. No, all 8 principles need to go hand in hand to create sustainability in leadership competency and to achieve the status of a role model for others, which is the highest prize a leader you can receive. It is not from the Oscars nor from the Grammys. It is from the people that you inspire every day, employees who want to follow your path and motivated professionals who want to become like you. So the book helps you to focus on what is important, to build that reputation, what makes you unique as a top professional, with employees striving for excellence the same way as you have demonstrated in every situation, with every team member and with every guest or customer. You can visit my website, which is drhotelier.com, for more information, and the book is available throughout the world on amazon.com. So thank you very much, Dr. Lee, for that opportunity.
It's our pleasure. And just for the audience, ladies and gentlemen, I know many of you have read broadly, vastly, deeply, you know, whether it's from Shakespeare to Sun Tzu, The Art of War, or von Clausewitz. But if you are really wanting a book that's incisive, with the precision of a surgeon, that is relevant, up to date, you need to get the Good Doctor's book. And it is precisely for those reasons that we have selected this to be the standard text for all the Asia Pacific Wine and Spirit Institute students. So through them, with them, and by them, and with you, we hope to expand this philosophy. So, ladies and gentlemen, if I haven't already said, my name is Dr. Clinton Lee, and I'm the Executive Director of the Asia Pacific Wine and Spirit Institute. And through our team here that you've seen, the Good Doctor, Stephanie, and the behind the scenes people, we have come up with over 27 certified online courses in wine, spirit, and luxury goods. And you can find out about us on the link below, which will be www.apwasi.com. And I hope that you have been enthralled, as I've been privileged and honored to have this interview with our guest today. Dr. Iwan, and don't forget Italian in 10, Dietschi. Okay, Dietschi, right?
Correct.
Dietschi.
Yes.
Okay. So, Stephanie, I'd like you to have a last word before we say our goodbye and thank you to the good doctor.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I believe every word of his commitment to excellence and mastering hospitality. So we wish everyone a wonderful day, and we look forward to another session with another wonderful person in the near future.
Perfect. And it's just been a especially genuinely great experience, Iwan, to have you. And thank you very much for your time. And now I know with those gloves on, you're just going to obliterate the competition, and then you're going to charm them all with the flowers and the book. So thank you very much indeed for your time. And we really look forward to having the opportunity when we can all meet together.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Great honor and pleasure. Thank you.